Well, good morning. It's a gorgeous morning out here this morning. It's also the shortest day of the year. You know what that means, right?
Santa's coming to town. Santa! Oh my God! Santa here? I know him.
I'm just funning. What it really means is we have the least amount of hours to get anything done today of any day of the year, but we're gonna have a bit of a cleanup party to get prepared for the grain store to come out. So it's got to go right over here in behind the yellow tractor, kind of where the water totes are there. But you know, I could thread the eye of the needle maybe, or I could just move some stuff out of the way. So I'm probably gonna fire up the tractor, get the pallet of grain, or get the bag of grain out of the back of the truck, get it set on its new heavy duty pallet. I'm gonna move the dumpster, move the water totes, and by the sound of the sheep, I better go feed the sheep. So I was actually surprised. The weather warmed up quite a bit, but it's been hanging right around that -1. So any of the snow up on the roof of the shop didn't actually melt and run into the water trough for the sheep. But the tap did thaw out, so I was able to string the garden hose out and give the sheep water yesterday. Are you making chicken angels? We just forked another batch of hay over to the sheep here. Hey girls. But we noticed, because we got this hay bale sitting right here, and it's real close to the chicken house, so the chickens will actually come out and they'll even eat on that hay bale, and that's a good source of greens for them over the winter, which they really don't, they get the peas in their feed, but that's about it, right? So pretty cool they're able to share with the sheep. Hey? Yeah. Morning chickens. Good morning, piggies. Hey, buddy. All right, so it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Charlotte's down for a nap, and that means I got to work with speed and efficiency. Nap time is precious around here because she's being nearly 2. She's a handful, right? There's a lot of times you just, you know, you can't have productive time because she requires the attention. And that's just the joys of being a parent, and that's absolutely a wonderful thing. But while she's down, I don't want to take for granted any of the time that we can use to prep this space here for the positioning of the grain shed. So I'm gonna move the water totes. I gotta move this big tree stump and move the dumpster, and then hopefully get that shed drug out. But again, we'll see what time allows here. Well, I managed to get the bag out of the back of the truck. Now we're just gonna go and set it on the pallet. Hopefully it sits nice and square, and then we can pick the pallet up, see how she loads. All right, so yesterday this was the big challenge. How are we gonna get this thing offloaded? Well, now you can see built the super pallet, so the bag's up there. And underneath here, I'm just gonna not get underneath it, but I'll just swing the camera under so you can see it. You can see where the bag is tied up there. So I can untie this knot, and there'll be a little nylon or whatever these bags are made out of, I don't know, chute that comes down, which I'll be able to zip tie up to our pipe, our 4-inch pipe, and then position this over top of the chute on the side of the granary, and then undo the internal knot. And boom, Bob's your uncle will have grain in the shed. So super excited about that. This is gonna go in the shop for now. And tomorrow morning, when I have help, we're gonna complete this task. Just because, I mean, there's gonna be a certain amount of work that's under a suspended load, which is a bit hazardous. And I wanna make sure I have a paramedic on standby if needs be. Right, so we are ratchet strapped on to the front of the loader bucket here. I just got the tail ends just tucked in the cupboard so that it doesn't get caught or anything. We're gonna go ahead and drag this thing out. and I'm praying for success. Let me tell you, there is a special place in hell for husbands that wreck stuff before their wife gets to use it. So this thing, like I know, it's like 900 bucks we got into this thing. If it just catastrophically fails, I might as well just convert it to a doghouse, because that's where I'm going to be living. Well, there you go. It's finally set up. It's all nice and level and everything. One small step for the tractor is a giant leap for the farm. So I'm pretty happy to see that. I'm just gonna nail up a couple 2x4s underneath the center beam just to make sure that's fully supported, because as you can see in the front, I did have to block it up a little bit. So it's not perfect. The ground isn't perfectly level there, which is to be expected. It's never perfectly level here. But yeah, job done. It's 8 o'clock at night and I'm just on my way out to do evening chores. But I figured I'd look out and see if I could see, there's like a planetary alignment supposed to happen tonight between Saturn and Jupiter, and they're gonna create this phenomenon called the Star of Bethlehem, which is like a once in a lifetime type of thing. But as is usually the case, it's completely cloudy outside, can't see anything, and it's starting to snow. So typical. Anyways, finishing off the grain shed there, polished off the last of the Pallet screws. I think we had about 400 screws in here that we used, you know, with the shed and then with the heavy duty pallet, and then it was a wrap. And I picked up a new one at Emerson Trail Building Supplies the other day. They're not cheap for a 2,000 screw bucket. They're, I think, 67 bucks, but it's worth it just for the free bucket you get at the end of it. Well, anyways, it's getting on kind of late in the evening here, and I'm about ready for a cup of tea. Tomorrow's gonna be a big day. We're gonna get that bag of grain into the shed. So if you're gonna watch one of our YouTube videos at all this year, tomorrow is probably the day you wanna tune in. That would also be a really good time to hit that subscribe button. But for now, it's time for tea. So I'll let you go. I hope you have a fantastic evening. We'll see you tomorrow.